Well, there's a football coach that was fired as a coach and has been suspended without pay as a teacher at Southern Alamance. He goes by Coach Fritz. His name is really long, but he goes by Coach Fritz for a reason.
Okay.
And it all stemmed from one player apparently saying that at halftime he was grabbed by the collar by the coach, and he's a senior football player. And according to this article on News 2, Chandler Klontz is the football player. He said he admitted the coach grabbed his collar. He said he's just his coaching style. And he says when he yells, the team typically does better. And so
Who said that?
this is the player whose collar got grabbed.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you're more familiar, I mean, if you go to that school and you know some more information, call us 800-682-1075. And then as you're listening to us, what are your thoughts on this? Should, based on what we have here, and, you know, you have to say allegedly because we weren't there, but according to this news article and other people that are in this news article, basically at halftime he grabbed a senior by the collar and yelled at him like, you know, let's focus, let's get in the game, you know, that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then either the player, somebody told somebody, and then they did an investigation, and then he was fired as a coach. And then they had a support rally for the coach with the actual player who got grabbed who said, I don't have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do you think? Should a coach be fired if he grabs a player? Is that like just a
Well, I thought that happens all the time.
hard, fast rule? Or, like Jason says, that's part of football, part of sports. And whatever your opinion is, fine. 800-682-1075.
Can I ask? So it was the player who it happened to, whose collar was grabbed, is not the one who's complaining about it. It was somebody else?
Yeah, I don't know if he told his parents what happened and then somebody complained. The article kind of goes into like, hey, if I'd have known this would have happened, I wouldn't even mention it to anybody.
I see.
But he's just saying,
Okay.
I told my parents, like, oh man, I messed up this thing in practice and the coach really got on me, you know. But
But it's pretty common, don't you think, that if football, where you're trying to pump up and get tough, and basically, and I don't know the situation here, but a lot of times you're in pads and helmet, whatever. It's not uncommon for somebody to like kind of shake you up a little bit and yell. And I mean, isn't that the norm? That's because kind of the part of the game.
no, I mean I remember there'd be football coaches that grab you by the helmet. They're not wearing a helmet, and they'd headbutt you and they have no helmet on. Like they'd get into it, or they grab you by like focus. You know, or like what are you doing? And lots of bad language stuff. But it was all because they were trying to motivate you to be better and to work harder and to be focused. And they wanted to win. They also wanted you to be the best you could be. And everyone has different styles, but that's extreme. And when I played, extremely common.
Well, it does like just from the distance of what the news article said. It does seem like there's got to be more to this.
It does seem that way.
A football coach?
There's something.
That's what I would expect. That's what I would want for my son.
Well, and that's what we always I mean, as somebody, I'm not in that world yet. I mean, my son is starting to play flag football. He's played at least a season. And, I mean, the kids get aggressive and stuff. The coaches have not.
Well, it's flag football, and they're 7 or 8.
And they're 7 and 8. And so I don't know what is common.
I mean, even when I played Pop Warner football, I mean, as you got older, even younger, I remember being like in 3rd or 4th grade, and the coaches were like, they wanted you to play hard because you're more likely to get hurt if you're not playing hard.
That's right.
Like you're kind of being lackadaisical or not focusing. Then you're a chance to getting hurt, and obviously it's not as fun. This is what the player said. Last name Klontz, who's a senior. This is where it kind of all stems from. This was at a rally to support the coach and say he shouldn't be fired. When he yelled at me that night, he goes, "Why are we not trying?" He said that because he knows this team has the talent to go all the way and win it all. Klontz said, "I was not upset about it because I knew that we played bad against Western. I knew he was going to yell at us, and it was not really an upset thing. I wouldn't have told my mom because it was not that serious, and I knew what to expect. I'm a 4-year varsity starter. I know it's to be expected of me, and I wasn't doing it." And then I think it seems like it's gotten out of control.
It does seem that way, yeah.
It seems that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do you think? 800-682-1075. Oh, let's go to Renee. Your son plays for the team?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you fill some of the gaps in, or what are we missing? What's going on here?
Well, this incident did not take place on the football field. The offense team was watching film the other Monday, and they all knew they were going to be in trouble because they played terrible that Friday night, and it was not a good game. So all of them knew it wasn't going to be a good practice and a film, and it was the offense team. And it got heated in there, and Chandler was grabbed by his shirt and stuff, and Chandler didn't think nothing of it. So there was a student in there that had to go to another practice. He sent out a group text saying he was going to be late, and he said some other things in there that wasn't quite true, what really happened.
All of this is alleged.
Yeah, allegedly, yes.
We have
yeah,
to
we
say
have
that.
to.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
to, yeah.
Right, exactly. Because it's all still going to be investigated some more from what I'm hearing. And then another kid in there saw it, shared it with his parents. This kid had been let go off the football team because misconduct. He had been kicked off the football team.
Allegedly.
And it was, yes.
We don't know.
And then, yeah, I know.
Can we say allegedly and we covered it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
we're
she's
covered.
saying it.
For
We're
now
covered.
on,
Yeah.
we know
Yeah.
it's alleged. We don't have to say that in a few
Yeah.
seconds.
Got it.
Yeah. And then the parent also used to be assistant football coach. And he had been let go too,
Okay.
allegedly, from what I hear.
Okay.
And then it was taken from there.
Okay.
And
So,
then it's just escalated.
I see.
so according to what you're
Yeah.
saying, there's film, which is
But all
common.
the kids in there that were in there was not interviewed.
Even
All of them were not interviewed.
okay. Even Klontz, the one whose shirt was grabbed.
Klontz was talked to. He was talked to. And the reason he wanted to make that statement Tuesday because he was not upset about it, and neither was his parents.
Okay.
So it's just been blown out of proportion. And nowadays in this world, if you don't teach these kids to be tough, because it's a tougher world than when I grew up,
Yeah, it is.
they're not going to survive it. And if they can't handle Coach Fritz as a coach, if they go to play college football or NFL, then they ain't going to survive.
That's definitely true. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, according to what she said, her son's a captain on the football team, and I guess allegedly, but it was during a film session. They got heated, and that happened in film session. Usually, film session would get heated because you're watching what you did in the game, and they'd pause it and like, we teach you this, and you're not doing that. Why?
Got it.
Or like, look at this,
Okay.
you're not even paying attention, or whatever. And last, or hey, this is a good play. And then but people can argue. I mean, this happens in the NFL. They'll get in like fights in there sometimes because it gets heated. Or Bill Belichick would scream at Tom Brady even though he'd already won 5-6 Super Bowls because he missed a pass or threw in a bad interception. And so he grabbed his collar and said, "Hey, why aren't you trying?" And then apparently, for what we're hearing, is that then if you heard, see if I'm following this right, Katie.
Yeah.
And then it got into a group text, and then it got back to a former player and a former coach. And then they complain, maybe.
It does seem that's
That's
what
that's
we're,
what I
we're
followed
hearing.
That's
too,
what
Yes.
it seems.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like, yeah.
Mhm.
All right. We do have.
And you know how text messages go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just
Yeah.
real quick, they're saying that this is all stemming from nothing on the field, and it's just because at film a player was grabbed. Is that what I'm kind of hearing?
That's what we're hearing.
We're
Yeah.
hearing
Yeah,
from other
that's
sources.
new. That's new from us because at first it was
That happened on the
even
field
some of this
during
article
the.
was saying they thought it was at halftime, but I guess it was during a film
Okay.
session.
Okay.
All right. Kind of a coach on the phone.
It's,
Who we talk?
I mean, he's not a head coach, but
Oh,
yeah, he's.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What's
hey,
up,
Fester.
Hey, Katie. Hey, you look great in those pictures.
Thank
When you were in,
you.
yeah, it's very beautiful.
Thank you.
and you're an assistant coach where?
I choose not to say.
Well,
Okay.
the history will know by now, but okay.
So
Yes, everybody knows. I'm at West Forsyth High School. We're in the playoffs, second round, and we're ahead of Northwest Guilford. They got knocked out last week.
he used to coach at Northwest, not holding a grudge at all.
He said, "I'd like not to say, but I will."
We'll do a fold real fast. Okay, so you're an assistant varsity football coach, and so what do you think about, like, for example, do coaches either in film or on the field, I'm not saying you,
Right.
grab players sometimes, or, grab them by the face mask, grab them by the shirt, or even a thing like, hey, you need to focus.
Like, is that commonplace?
Well, nowadays you can't grab a player by the face mask, or you really can't touch them. But you can, during drills, you can put your hands on them, tell them which way to put your hands, how we want to drive them, stuff like that. back in the day, you could do that. You know, I had plenty of friends that have been fired because they grabbed the kids' face masks on TV and they no longer have a job. So you can't do that now. That's kind of old school. But now you got to be able to talk to the kids and tell them what they're doing. Now in film session, I know from our film session, we sit them down and it's really calm. We don't really get after them in film. We'll tell them what they did. We grade them. We show what they did wrong. But as far as, you know, put your hands on the kid during film session, that's kind of a no-no.
All right, so your team sounds very soft. All right, so
I mean,
you're playing tackle football, and your coach can't grab your face mask.
Let's even forget about this. I mean, not forget about it, but on the field, and you're in pads and helmets. You seem like you see even the players like, well, knock heads with each other. They're pushing each other. They're roughing each other up. That's getting you pumped. That's getting you hyped. You're saying that you can't do that anymore. A coach can't like slap the the helmet or
shoulder pads.
Shake the kid up a little bit.
No, you can slap the shoulder pads. You can't slap them in the head anymore. I mean, you give them a concussion
with a helmet.
Yeah, but as big as I am, if I slap a kid in the head, I'm going to give him a concussion.
Well, maybe you.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to be listen. You got to be real careful because now, everybody's got a cell phone. They'll take a picture of you hitting a kid, and it was meant in to help them out and stuff like that. They think that you abuse a kid.
But your coaches you're known for like yelling to get people excited.
Yes,
and you can't. Is it okay to scream? I mean, even look at me at pickleball. I'm screaming at my partner. I mean, it's pickleball. This is football, tackle football.
No, Jay. I get like me. I get after the kids. I mean, I'm going to get after them if they did wrong, they did right. I'm going to get after them. But then, not to the point where you're nowadays you can't really abuse them. You got to get after them, and then after you get after them, you got to show them some love because they need it. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm soft anymore, but that's what you have to do now because you got to be wary of what's going to happen afterwards if a kid complains.
Now, is it abuse or is it coaching?
Yeah, exactly. You're saying
I think
abuse.
there must be a line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a fine line that you can't cross anymore.
I know when I played, I mean, our coaches, it was every word you can imagine. Mm-hmm. And they would, I remember one calling one player the C word. I was like, whoa, that's, he did apologize for that. But the whole time, it motivated you to play harder and to play better, and you didn't want to disappoint the coach. I don't know.
This conversation is making me depressed. It's like, what is the world coming to? Why do we have to be so soft on everybody's feelings? We're just going to get invaded by North Korea if we can't. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Oh, boy. Oh, God.
No, it does seem that there's a...
And I'm not talking about this. I'm not even talking about the case at the school where the happened in the locker room. I'm just talking about now you have to watch everything we do on a tackle football team as a coach. I mean, come on. Where's the aggressiveness? Where's the winning?
And it does seem that there's the difference between punching him directly in the face in front of your, you know what I mean?
Well, that's different.
Or grabbing his collar. It's like the context is nobody's taking it into context.
Yeah, and then I think there's no context, Katie, and I also think there's no equity. Like apparently this Coach Fritz at Southern Alamance is known to be a good coach and a good teacher, and now he might lose both of that.
Let me ask you this, Jared. What, if it got I'm thinking like it got to an assistant coach that was fired or let go, so maybe he had a grudge against the other coach and. That's why he started it. You never know what's going on in
here.
The background.
Yeah.
Huh?
You're just randomly assuming a
well, that's
story
what
that's the alleged.
That's the alleged part of it from the call from one of the people.
Yeah, I know, but if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a duck.
Yeah,
not all the time.
Yeah,
not all the time, but I will say we've seen it a lot in our life and our careers where somebody gets let go. And it's like kind of the icing on the cake, or it is the validation for we wanted to get rid of you for other reasons. You know what I mean? We see that all the time.
Oh, no, if I can go here, I'm going to find ways to destroy y'all's lives if y'all had anything to do with it.
But if there were things that were going on with you that maybe they said, oh, well, this has been happening and this has been happening and this has been happening and chance after chance after chance, and then something big happens, then they're like, we're firing you because of that.
Yeah, they're looking for a reason.
You're looking for a reason. Now, I'm not saying that's what's happening
here.
Sure,
we don't know.
But we've all seen it.
In this area, you can you don't have to have a reason.
For any job?
It's a right to work state.
There's
Yeah,
also
but
wrongful
but it
termination. You can
happens.
sue.
Yeah.
This Coach Fritz, my understanding, has an attorney. I mean, there's some
No, I know.
recourse, but I know what you mean in
Typically,
general.
here
Yeah.
you can just say, "Hey, we no longer want you as a coach." That's it. There's no reason.
Right, I understand that,
Yeah.
but if
But
we're,
once you give a reason,
yes,
then you have to defend it.
you
Correct.
do absolutely, and we have seen it where it's
Yes.
there are a million reasons and a million chances that are given, and then it's one thing they're like, and this is why you're being let go.
Right.
You know,
when it's been a million
when
things.
everybody's seen it coming.
All right, let's go to Kelly. Kelly, you have something to say about Coach Fritz at Southern Alamance? Kelly?
Hello.
Oh, we lost cell phones.
Oh.
Kelly, call back. She had something she wanted to say about.
We did have another phone call from a person who lives in Alamance County, and I'll cover it. It's alleged. It's just the phone call that came in. But the parent who is making the claim and initiating the issue, the one who is allegedly a former coach, works for the sheriff's department, and that is where this is originating. This whole investigation is coming from the sheriff's department.
Forsyth Sheriff's Department?
Alamance County.
So somebody
Alamance.
is saying, oh, he was assaulted, so then they did an investigation stemming from that? Maybe?
That's where they're trying to say, is this coach who the claim is that maybe he has a grudge because he was let go and his son was kicked off the team, works for the sheriff's department, and that is where this is stemming from. So it's coming from that coach in this position as well.
Who works there now.
Correct.
Ooh, this is murky.
Ooh.
And if you're that coach, call us, or former coach, call us. Let us know. We'd love to hear from anybody that's associated with it. But even the greatest coaches, even modern coaches, and not to get too far into it, but like, I hate Duke with a passion. Duke basketball. I don't care about football. Basketball. And I hated Coach K. You have to. You're care. But I remember sitting behind the bench at the NCAA tournament here in Greensboro, and Duke was playing, and they were losing. And the stuff Coach K was saying to his players kind of made me I felt sorry for these Duke players that I hated. I'm like, why would you say that
They're
to
gonna
Plumlee?
say
Why'd
that's
you say
college.
that? Why'd you call him the P word? He's trying.
He's doing his best.
But they're going to say that's college. This is high school.
They're not getting, well, at that time they weren't getting paid.
It's
I
still
mean-
college. They're older.
you
Whatnot.
mean the students are
Well,
older?
sure, just in
and
general.
so,
Like,
yeah.
well, yeah, that's college. That's when they're older.
Okay, they're
then-
officially adults.
But I do feel like we're heading down a road, and I've already seen this before, that a lot of these high school types of sports are going to become club sports, really. And then the private organizations, like the travel football, travel baseball, those are the ones now where you're not have to have the regulations, or you can do whatever you want, really, except if it's actual assault. But you can, in these private organizations are sparking up everywhere. Even my daughter, she's 7 years old. She's in travel soccer. That didn't probably exist when I was in school, because this is the way it is now. It's privately ran. It's a different whole game.
So
It's definitely
expensive,
changing.
too.
It's so
It
expensive.
is.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
It is, and it takes away the opportunity for everyone to play.
Yeah, and
It
that's why they
does.
have to have the scholarships and all that, because. But what's happening now, a lot of these, the high school sports are eventually changing over to club sports. That's all it is.
And then just the rich kids play. All right, let's go to Kelly. Kelly, what do you want to say about Coach Fritz from Southern Alamance?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I'd like to just say that Coach Fritz is beyond just a great coach, not only a great coach, but a great person in our community. He absolutely stands for everything that every coach, every person, you would want your kid on that sideline playing for him, working with him. He is an absolute, his character is just wonderful. And this is a disgrace to our community, a disgrace to our the ABSS school system. We talk about different learning styles and how every teacher teaches their kid differently. Every coach has a different coaching style. And what he did, allegedly, based on the student Chandler, who was a remarkable young man, he himself said, this is acceptable, this is okay, this is how I play better, this is going to make him a better person. But yet somebody behind the scenes is spearheading this, and it's just so sad within our community that this has happened.
I think it's well said, and so people know there was a rally at Southern Alamance Tuesday.
Did anybody
Yes.
show up?
That is correct.
I wasn't there,
Absolutely, was well attended.
Oh, okay.
and the players, including Chandler, was like, he made a public statement at the thing, like, I want him to be our coach. I mean, what more do you need after that?
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. His parents allegedly did not press these charges. This was completely an upset individual spearheading all of this, and it's a disgrace. And we appreciate all of his efforts, because he is truly what every coach should be like.
All right.
Well, and some might say, just let you know, some might say, like, well,
Thank you.
the kid's facing a lot of pressure, and everybody's upset at the kid because he caused all this. So that influences the way he has to say, I want this coach. I'm not saying that's happening, but I can see that other side where people could be saying that.
Oh, like he felt the pressure
He
to
felt
just
a
make
lot of
this
pressure to
statement?
make him like, no, I'm cool with the coach. Because if not, he's going to be.
Oh.
Right.
You
Although
know.
he apparently he's the one, he never even complained to anybody.
Yeah,
Somebody else
I
saw it
mean,
and texted people out.
I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
saying
but I
with
can see
it,
that
yeah.
part of it. Yeah, sure. All right. So we'll try to follow this. Hopefully, let's say from what we've heard, this is what has happened. Then he deserves his job back, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Sure.
I mean, my coach is seemingly way harder on us than this, and I appreciated it. Like at the time, you're like, dang, but it made it held you accountable to what you were doing, not just for you, but your teammates. And there are life lessons in that.
I think we should start doing it to Squid to
Yeah,
like
because
really motivate him.
He's never been coached hard.
I think that's going to be our new coaching style for Squid.
In his face. Grab him by the collar right now.
Get over here, Squid.
Squid.
Oh,
and
gosh,
tell
I'm
him
scared.
to say, why aren't you trying? Jason, go grab him.
How dare you, Squid? This is ridiculous, Squid! Here
What?
he comes. Oh, God.
Oh gosh.
It's all right,
Oh,
Squid. It's
gosh.
on
Not
camera.
even
Yeah, I guess
It's on camera.
I'm not even filming this.
Why aren't you trying? And why do you walk so slow?
I'm calling 911.
Do you feel motivated now?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay,
At all.
fine.
Anything. He's
I
going to be
guess.
taking a break soon. To recoup from that.
There's nothing that motivates him.
Nothing.
He's
He's the
different.
only person I've ever worked with, honest to God, who has stood up during a live broadcast
Yes.
and walked out and gone home.
Yeah. And didn't tell anybody.
And didn't tell anybody.
You did this week?
You
Oh,
went.
because the dryer was there and I had to
tell
get it
anybody.
and get a refund on the one I first bought.
Do not care. I don't care. That is the most
$700.
ridiculous
You
thing
gotta
that I've
pre-
ever seen.
You got to be prepared. Have somebody there.
Well, they came an hour early.
Yeah,
They said
guess what you
10:30,
say.
but they came at 9:30.
You know what you say? Leave it on my front doorstep. I'm at work. I'm busy.
Or don't schedule something for 10:30 when we get off the air at the earliest at 10.
At 10. Stood up, took his headphones off, walked out, and got in his car and went home.
And we're all,
Didn't say a
in
word
the middle
to
of
us.
the segment. We're like, I mean, the show was better after he left, but
at least say, hey, guys, I have an emergency or something like that.
Nothing.
Just-
Nothing. Stood up and walked out.
just walked out. We're like,
I'm
all
liking
right.
your style, Squid.
No, don't encourage it.
You get 0 Fs. You might got a lot of Fs in school, but you get 0 Fs. I don't know.